Okay, good evening. Welcome to this regular scheduled business meeting of the Somersville City Council on this 10th day of January 2022. I'd like to welcome all of our guests tonight and move right into tonight's agenda. First item on the agenda would be the consideration of council minutes of the meeting we held on December 13th of 2021.
Move to approve, waive the reading.
Okay, council, we have a motion on the floor to waive the reading. Are there any changes or amendments to those minutes as they were presented in your packet? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. The next item on the agenda is consideration of the council minutes of the special meeting we held on January 3rd of 2022.
Move to approve, waive the reading.
Okay. Again, council, we have a first and a second. The motion was to waive the reading. Are there any changes or amendments to those minutes as they were presented in your packet? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. Mr. Recorder, anybody signed up for public comment?
No, sir.
Okay, no public comment. The next item is approval of Somersville Emergency Waterline Replacement Critical Needs Project Resolution 1. And at this time, I proudly welcome to the podium Amanda Smarr from Region 4 Planning and Development.
Thank you. So this is going to be resolution number 1 for the Critical Needs Project. So there's going to be a few invoices that we'll talk about. So the first one's going to be construction, so Holes Contracting Incorporated. That invoice amount was $132,500. $50,000 of that's going to come from IJDC. The remaining $96,986.53 will come from the local funds. The technical services will be the Thrasher Group, and their invoice was $14,486.53. That entire invoice will come out of the local funds. And then Thrasher also has a permits and fees invoice for $401.31, and that will also come out of the local funds. So the total invoice is $147,387.84. $50,000 of that is going to come out of IJDC, and $97,387.84 is going to come out of the local funds.
Okay, council, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Move to approve.
Second. We have a first and a second. Any discussion? The only thing I would say is, council, that we will have a resolution 2, which will be the portion where we pay Region 4 Planning and Development for their work in the administrative efforts. So we have a first and a second. Are there any other questions? And the IJDC money will come directly from them to Hull, so we will pay the balance of the bill of $97,387.84, and that will come out of our general funds of the utilities. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
And then I believe, moving right along, the next item is approval of the evidentiary materials pertaining to the City of Somersville Stormwater Project. And this is the project on Kentucky Road. So, Amanda?
Correct. So this was the packet that we were just discussing. It's quite large. There's multiple documents in here. So we'll go through these. So they want a signed subrecipient agreement, which is basically just saying that you're going to follow all the federal rules and regulations that go along with CDBG MIT funds. And your grant agreement, which is accepting the grant award. So that's what those two forms are going to be. You'll also have our LOU in there, or letter of understanding between the city itself and Region 4 to allow us to administer the funds.
Okay.
Those will also be included. We'll have a final budget, which is a breakdown of all of the costs that are going to be included. And the total cost of this grant was $1,042,350. So that was going to be, that's the total cost of this particular grant. We'll also have a project performance schedule, which will break out the program in specific task orders and anticipated dates that we expect those to be completed. So that'll also be included. Your grantee debarment form is basically just saying that you're allowed to do work with the federal government. It's a general requirement for any of these funds. Your SAMS.gov registration is just saying you have an active SAMS account, which you guys are fine. We've already checked that, so you're good to go on that. The disclosure form is pretty much the same thing, just saying that everything is okay. All your SAM's active and nothing came up there. And then environmental review information. This will be the first environmental review. There will be a second environmental review. The first one will be a notice to proceed with exempt activities, which will be design, administration, things like that. We'll do a full environmental review, which will include or if there's any wetland or if there's any endangered species that are going to be impacted, things like that. Once that's approved, then we can start construction. So this is the first step, and then once we get all of these completed, we'll do a full environmental review, and that's when construction can begin.
Okay.
Any questions? That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff there.
Okay, I don't have any questions. Council, Thrasher is on this, so the project will be handled by Thrasher, and of course, as we make it through these steps, the monies will be released, and the project, of course, eventually will be undertaken and completed. So this is just approving the evidentiary materials, which means that we meet all the standards and we have all the pieces in place, which we do. I do want to note that because some people might not understand, Sam's is not the Sam's Club down in Beckley. What's that? Yeah. But anyway, that is a required, what does that acronym stand for?
Systems for Award Management.
There you go.
Yeah.
And of course, we are registered, the city is registered, required registration and all that, we're all legit. So, with that said, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Council, do you have any questions?
What's the timeline on this? Do you have a guesstimate? You know, the project?
It would have to be completed within 5 years. The timeline is probably sooner than that. A lot of that depends on the environmental process, when that environmental is completed and when construction can begin. But I would say 3 to 5 years.
And it's not that, I think that there's wetlands involved, but this project does go down through, as it comes out Kentucky Road, then runs back down through those houses in the back, and all of that is involved in this project. So from a standpoint of the environmental and all those I's you got to dot, and T's you got to cross relative to that kind of stuff, it'll be a process.
And what was that total amount, 1 million what?
It's $1,042,350.
That's the amount of the grant?
Yes. And it's all grant.
It's all grant project?
It is, yes.
Thank you.
That's great work. Okay. First and the second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. I guess I should have waited to make sure nobody opposed. Motion so carries. All right, thank you, Amanda. Have a great evening.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
you
coming
too.
out.
Thanks a lot, appreciate it.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is to authorize the mayor, Robert Schaefer, and the City of Somersville's Building Commission to proceed with forest management timber sale on City of Somersville property and City of Somersville Building Commission property. And again, this is just authorization to move forward. It would all be done legally, bid, so on and so forth. And this is basically all of the property that surrounds the hospital. We're talking about 15 acres that's included in the hospital property, 8 acres, that's the piece of property that we recently traded, shouldn't say recently, several years ago, that we picked up that sits right down there next to Jimmy's Gym. And also, this takes us up to the property that goes into the Jones Hole. We have no intention to timber the Jones Hole. But some of that property, the Jones Hole property, some of it that comes back towards Jimmy's Gym, that property is actually in the City of Somersville name. the balance is in the building commission. So it'll be a combination of both entities. And probably what we would do, first of all, set out through all the legal processes that you have to do to bid it and so on and so forth. And then probably even before we would proceed forward, we'd come back before this body with the proposals to let you all see what it is that's taking place and make sure that that's exactly what we want to do.
Did we discuss that we wanted to possibly move that into the building commission?
The Jones hole?
Yeah, that,
That could be a potential if at some later date we decide to sell it, yes. Okay. All right, so I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Move to approve.
second.
Got a first and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. The next item on the agenda is authorization to put out for formal bid the process for replacement of the old main gym floor. Just so you know, council, it's kind of my thought process that if we do decide to timber, if it's worthy of timbering, did I share with you all? I can't remember if I did. Did I share with you the cruise, the estimated value on the cruise? Somewhere around 50,000. Yeah. Okay. So it is my intention that if we do decide after we get we go through the bid process and get official numbers on the timber. If we do definitely decide to do it, it would be my recommendation that we take those proceeds and match them with other proceeds to replace the old main gym floor, which is in need of repair. And quite frankly, we've made arrangements with the Board of Education that's currently leasing it. At their last meeting, they upped their monthly rent to, over a period of time, help pay and contribute to the replacement of the old main gym floor. So what I'm asking for is your authorization to put it out to a formal bid process for replacement. The idea would be that we would do this summer, of course, when there's no middle school gym activities taking place.
Move to approve.
We have a first
Second.
and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. Recorder's report.
Okay, I have a couple of things, Mayor. First, we have a meeting coming up with planning and zoning. I'll have Amy send to the council, we're going to do this by Zoom, so we'll send the link to you by Zoom so some of the council members that wish to join in can do so.
I think I got that this evening.
Did you? Okay, good deal. ESPN we have. Also, it's Shay Strait, the gentleman that is assisting us with the project, is planning on being here. So he will plan on being here. The only reason that he would not show is if it's weather related, and if he says if it's bad weather, he will just jump on the Zoom meeting with us. That'll be next Monday, the 17th at 6 o'clock. Also, just want to let the council know that on the 23rd and 24th, I'll be heading for some municipal league meetings. Primarily, the ones that I'll be joining in on will be taxation related, municipal taxation, annexation, and I will also be learning the clerks and recorders election processes. So I'll be joining in on those. There's a couple of others that I don't have a lot of information about, but I will make it a full 2 days for me, and then I will jump back in the vehicle and get back for the meeting here on that evening.
Amen.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, council, let me set you up for Monday the 24th. Bring you a jug of water, a pack of lunch. No, I do want to let you know the 24th meeting will be a very intensive, involved meeting for several reasons. One, that will be the meeting that we will approve the EDA application, go through it thoroughly. for the complex that we're currently putting together. It'll be our first real public announcement and go forward with that entire project. It will also be that meeting that we'll have on the agenda, the approval of purchase of that property by the city of Somersville. Also at that meeting, our audit, our 2021 audit has been completed. Thought the auditor was going to be here tonight, but he is rescheduled for that meeting. So we'll also have David Howell here to review our completed last fiscal year audit. It is completed, so he'll attend that meeting as well to review our audit with us. So it's going to be a super busy meeting, a lot of information to cover as I thoroughly want to go through the application. I thoroughly want to go through the property purchase. And then of course, also that'll be our first meeting for all intents and purposes of explaining detailed what it is, what this venture we're setting off to do that I'm very ecstatic about. I will tell you that also what I do plan on doing is in February at some point in time, we will have a public meeting to bring the public in to, really lay it out, introduce the committees, the committee structure, and then talk a little bit more in detail how this is all going to play out. Because the first thing that we want to do is be very transparent through the entire process. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar project. I'm, actually just to put the number out there, in excess of $10 million project. And so it's not going to happen overnight. So we just want to be very transparent through the entire process with our citizens on what we're doing so that, of course, we want them to be excited like we are, but we also want to be real on the time frame it's going to take to build that project out. Also want to let you know, since our last meeting, I've made visits to 2 cities. I spent a day down in Fayetteville with Mayor Cruikshanks and the city manager down there. Got real in-depth information that I'm going to come forward with. I was going to try the 24th, but that might be just a little busy meeting, so it'll probably be February will be your all's introduction to home rule and the beginning of that process, which is also going to be a new thing for the city of Somersville, but I might add a very good thing for the city of Somersville. And then I also, last Thursday, spent the day in Bridgeport with Mayor Andy Long, and it was an incredible day filled with just to see, what they're doing, a lot of their, it wasn't just about their complex that, we're going to have some similarities to, but it was also about the total Bridgeport picture and economic development and things going on. Had a great day there, much excitement. Incidentally, it's cause for me to call a couple meetings back here already locally to rally folks back here with our Economic Development Authority Board on we got to start shaking some trees because there are things, there's just a whole lot of money out there right now that the federal government's already put out there. We just got to start really squeezing people to make sure that we get our share. So exciting times, and I got to tell you that there's buy-in all over the place that we're going to make some of this stuff happen. Want to also let everybody know, council, you all have a piece of paper in front of you that explains this, but a public notice that the Somersville City Council grants, the deadline for the 22-23 grants, you must have your application completed and back to City Hall by Friday, February 25th of 2022. So just want to let everybody know that. If you have any questions, you can contact here at City Hall, Cookie Comer, the City Hall number 872-1211, extension 104. We actually even have the ability to electronically send you that application. Council, I want you all to know that tomorrow evening at Brown Oaks is the Somersville Area Chamber of Commerce. Our chamber is having a reception instead of an annual dinner meeting, which would have taken place at the fall last year. They're having a reception tomorrow night that goes from 6 to 8. At 7:30, they are planning on giving out their annual chamber awards. So council, if you can, I encourage you to make that meeting tomorrow night, 6 to 8. Awards will be given out at 7:30. The other thing I want to update you on, council, in some regards, I'm real disappointed. I've been informed by the associate director of the VA medical clinic or VA medical hospital in Beckley that they're pulling the medical mobile unit out of Somersville on a temporary basis. It's being pulled back to Beckley. They're going to use it for the monoclonal antibody infusion clinic. And they're going to do that because of the increased numbers of COVID and the antibodies infusions that they're trying to do. They've decided that trying to keep those folks separate from bringing them into the VA medical hospital would be better. So they are pulling that mobile unit out of Somersville. They're going to notify all the veterans. They've assured me it will be coming back, as well as we continue to engage in the process of trying to set up a permanent veterans clinic here in Somersville. So we want folks to know that's temporary, you know, we're still going to continue to push, and they tell me that they're definitely still engaged in still finding a permanent home up here where they'll have a bricks and mortar VA clinic here in the Somersville area. Let me see. And then I-2 Council, Gary mentioned, on January 23rd and 24th. That 24th, let me tell you, when you get your council packets, which again, there should be a lot of information for that 24th meeting. If you have any questions, think about reaching out to me before Sunday. The Midwinter West Virginia Municipal League meeting is on Sunday and Monday. Both the recorder and myself will be attending. And actually, the meeting doesn't even get over. The legislative part of it, reception, is Monday night, but we will be returning for that meeting. So once you get that packet, matter of fact, we might even try to scoot them out early so they get them. So therefore, if you get them and you got any questions, reach out to me through Saturday, as Sunday I'll be in meetings all day. And I actually sat on the board, and we actually have a board meeting as a part of this midwinter conference as well. So we'll be tied up Saturday, and then Monday, Gary and I will leave early enough to get back here for council meeting Monday night. Let me make sure I went through everything. Appears I did. So that concludes the mayor's report. Are there any council reports? Okay. Council, I do not have tonight a need for an executive session. There was some information that I was hoping to have to provide to you that I did not get, so therefore there is no need for an executive session. So at this time, if there's no council comments, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
First and the second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. Thank you, council. Have a good evening.